After 15 years of medical school, training, residency, fellowship, and the excitement of moving to a new city and getting a new job, I'm taking a break from medicine. And I know that probably sounds crazy to some people. I'm experiencing what the majority of physicians, especially surgeons, experience in the first 2 years of practice, and that is I'm leaving my first job. I spent a long time trying to become a doctor and get to this point. I did everything I could to avoid this moment, especially in my first year of practice, but here I am. You guys have been with me since the beginning, where I was in Dallas, Texas. I did all my school in Texas and ended up training at the hospital I was born at. I had a lot of trouble in residency after going viral online for spreading awareness about Black positivity. I then set my sights to my dream program in Los Angeles, where I got to learn how to do spine surgery. And then I came to Atlanta, being the first city of my first job as an attending as a spine surgeon. But unfortunately, that first chapter is over. Currently sitting here, this is my last day here, and like many doctors, I'm leaving my practice after 6 months of work. When I moved here, I never thought I'd get to this point. Most of us sign our first job thinking it's our forever job. We see ourselves in it, we get invested, we pour everything into the patients we see, but unfortunately it doesn't work out that way all the time. I'm leaving medicine, and I'll now be a full-time content creator and pre-med coach. These are things I've already been doing for 7 years, and I know that God wants me to do more content creation because He's allowed me to see how it has changed people's lives, people's careers. I've seen pre-medical students go from pre-med to residency, now to physicians. I've met people on random islands that told me they would have never pursued medicine unless they saw my videos. So I know this is right for me. Is it hard to deal with? It is, but if you pray for me, as I'm praying for myself, I think I'll get through it. And I'm excited to see what happens on the other end. There's a lot of things that I've done to prepare myself in this moment, mentally, spiritually, financially, and I think we should talk about all that stuff. If you're a doctor who left your practice in the first year, or you know somebody who left their job in the first year, drop it in the comments. Let's have a conversation.
I recently gave up being a doctor. Well, not really. You can't just give up 20 years in medicine. It becomes you and you become it. But what I did give up was my GMC medical license. And here's why. As long as you hold that license, you are bound by a system that doesn't fully support integrative medicine. It supports more of a pharmaceutical-based medical model. And there is a big difference. I still work with people's health every single day, but now I do it in a completely different way. I gave up my license so I could practice in the most expansive, holistic way possible, a way where nothing of worth is off the table, where everything of value is considered, as long as it's right for the person sitting in front of me. From nutrition, functional medicine, and somatic trauma work to energy medicine, natural therapies used for millennia, and yes, even spirituality. All of that is considered completely off the table in the conventional medicine framework. But now, I can speak openly. My patients get the full, authentic me and my decades of diverse experience. I no longer have to police every word for fear of ramifications. The conventional medical model works for what it was intended for. But I haven't met an integrative doctor yet who feels truly supported by it. It's time for a change, and I'm so glad to be making it. If you're ready for a whole body approach to your health, click the link in my bio to learn more about integrative medicine at the Forbes Clinic.
I quit my job as a doctor to become a full-time docfluencer, and this is the first month where I made more money in 1 month than I did during my entire final year of being a doctor. Let me break it down. About 75% of my money came through brand deals. This has always been my highest earner, but also this month I worked with some of my dream hero brands, which is really exciting. About 20% of my earnings was through a paid opportunity to come and speak at an event. This was again with a brand that I really love. My introverted ass has become more and more used to speaking in public, and I really enjoy these opportunities. Around 5% of my money came from my digital products and my ebooks. So I've got 2 online courses, Docfluencing and Professional Influence, 2 courses that teach doctors and professionals how to get into influencing cleverly and how they can best leverage their online presence. I've also got ebooks, my AI content tool, and my monetization map, which basically teaches people how to leverage their rate cards. This is all part of my new philosophy, soft medicine, which is the medicine that you need to live a soft life. I'm finally creating these multiple streams of income, and I'm going to be breaking down a lot more in terms of money and financial transparency and all the things I'm doing to actually build the soft life of my dreams. Let me know what you want to hear next.
It's now been 6 years since I quit my job as a medical doctor when I was asked to cover a shift and spend an additional 6 hours after my shift had normally ended to cover someone. When you cover a shift, you get paid like 1.5 times your normal hourly rate. But the issue is that then you're going home at like 11 p.m. You have to be in at work again 6:30 the next day. You're going to be sleep deprived for the rest of the week. And what do you get out of it? Like an extra $100? What I realized is that I'm never picking up these extra shifts because I'm never saying that that money is worth it for my quality of life. So actually, why am I even coming into work on a normal day when I feel like the money double is not worth it? And so I started thinking, like, when I go to work, is that what I want to be spending my time doing? And I realized, no, like, I would rather be sick to have a legitimate reason to not go into work. And so this feeling of just dreading work made me realize that I was holding on to this idea of career progression or salary as a way to compensate for the fact that I'm not spending that time of my life doing the thing that I really wanted to do.
The doctors who are quitting and stepping away from medicine are not lazy. Lazy people do not go through medical school and training. What is actually happening is these people are realizing that they are no longer willing to sacrifice their health and mental well-being for a broken system that couldn't care less about them, actual science, or healthcare. Who said that?
Hi. I want to talk about doctors leaving the practice of medicine. I practiced medicine for 50 years, and I'm a bioethicist. In my opinion, the hospitals believe that they can replace us with nurse practitioners and PAs, but they will leave eventually because the problem is the same. Many people who are leaving say they always wanted to be a doctor. I believe they always wanted to take care of patients, and now they find themselves taking care of the hospital, the insurance companies, even the lawyers. Insurance companies make us do things against our license. And we have stupid rules like one problem per visit. People don't come that way. Nobody has even just one problem. And even the first thing they say is often the real problem. You might have to ask a little bit to find out the real problem. I believe the medical industry has lost its soul and is losing its heart. Doctors are the face of this broken industry, and we may take the brunt of the anger and blame. And for nurses, it's the same but different. Hospitals treat patients like things, and now they're treating staff like things. We're furniture to be moved around and replaced when we wear out. My physician colleague was told by a hospital administrator, "I don't need you, I need your license." When staff do treat patients like humans, they're going against the current, swimming upstream. Some can do it forever, but many can't. I couldn't. There comes a day when you can't do it anymore. This has been called burnout, but I don't really like that term. It's not really wrong, but it's not right either. It implies that we're weak, we don't measure up. It's a mental health issue. You're sick. I believe that institutions only believe that if they just hired asbestos people, there wouldn't be a problem. So I believe there are many reasons why doctors leave. One of them is moral injury. When you have to watch things being done that go against your moral beliefs, or you are required to do such things yourself, such as patients not getting care, denied by insurance, even a child dying after being denied care, people who can't afford copays and deductibles, and having to prescribe a cheaper medication because a patient can't afford a more expensive one that would work better. We may feel we're a square peg in a round hole, a human peg in a cold, uncaring world, or a human peg in an inhuman system. We may have to be face to face with a person who is not getting care and who has done their research and knows what is available that they're being denied. I believe we need to have a conversation around these issues, and I hope you'll join in that conversation. Thank you.
Of course women are leaving because the profession is literally killing us. There's a 2025 study out of Harvard that shows that women in medicine do not enjoy the same survival advantage over their male peers as women in other industries. I have the unique honor and privilege of talking with women surgeons from every specialty. And what I know to be true is that it is rare for a woman surgeon to feel satisfied with her ability to take care of patients autonomously and without moral injury. That's exactly why I left my private practice at the end of 2024. And I now work very part-time. I work 1 week per month. Clients who work with me know that I always talk about protecting the asset. We are the asset. Part of protecting the asset means that we diversify our identities so that when we need to pivot because we're no longer willing to subject ourselves to a survival disadvantage, we're able to do that. We are not stuck. We are not powerless until the system changes and honors us as the asset and protects us as the asset. There is no way that we are going to stay in this profession. Good on you if you have left. We have to learn how to take care of our people first. People over profits. That's the only way we're going to turn this ship around, because we're playing an infinite game, and we have to stop playing the infinite game of healthcare from a finite mindset. Thank you to Dr. Andrea Merrill, Dr. Cornelia Griggs, and Dr. Karen Leitner for contributing to this very important piece.
I'm finally going to quit medicine. Why? Well, guess what? Earlier today, I was at Nordstrom just checking out some of the makeup there because I lost my concealer recently. And the sales associate, who is a 10, beautiful woman, was helping color match my shade. And while we were just chatting it up, she was being such a girl's girl. She thought that I was a Pilates instructor for a living. Me? Yeah, I wish. I am simply a servant to society in medicine. But thank you for thinking I'm a baddie. And also thank you for beating my face down. I mean, I've never had makeup look this good on me. I've never had makeup look this good on me. Like, hello, who, her? That's all so bye medicine.
There are genuinely no rules. I did med school for 6 years. You would suspect that by putting 6 years of time into university, I would now be working as a doctor. I worked as a doctor for 2 full years. At the same time, I was working in football because I had a passion for it. I was writing about football online, on social media, on Twitter. And that started in the pandemic, and I just carried that on the side whilst working as a doctor. On the last week of my second year as a doctor, I got a job offer from BBC Sport and I became their football tactics correspondent, their first ever football tactics correspondent, 2 weeks later. And I'm telling you that story out loud, one, because I think it's crazy and I think it would be cool for people to know that that's the law behind my career at the moment. But the second thing is, you don't need to stay in a box. There's value in having stability and working hard and going to university and getting a job. So I'm going to sound like your parents when I say that. But there's also a huge and vast world outside of the general rule book that school, university, the older generation, your parents might give you.
These young doctors who have gone through at least 8 years of schooling and sometimes 4 years after that, and have $500,000 in student loans, 20% of them have already left medical practice within 5 years. What does that tell you? The medical system's not just broken for us, it's broken for them too. It's because of bureaucracy, the emphasis on profits. New doctors in practices, they're given 6 minutes per patient. Well, what is the risk to them? This is not treating patients. This is not being able to provide responsible healthcare. This is running patients down a conveyor belt to chase the almighty dollar. And then they get the shit suit out of them every time. You know, there's a million things that can go wrong in the human body. You make a tiny mistake and, well, in this country, you're going to get sued for millions. So you look at the amount of stress that causes, and that has got to be why doctors are leaving the medical field at an astonishing rate. In fact, to see how shocking it is, just since 2008, when the average age of doctors leaving their practice was nearly 60 years old, now, just 18 years later, the average age that a doctor leaves the medical field is 48. 48 years old, and they are already burned out.